was beaten, sexually abused, and I called my mom and said, "Would you pay for me again? And I'm so sorry if I can't make it, but I will do everything." The most important thing is whatever happens in your life, if you just trust your own instincts, they will always save you. I'm Lone, and I come from Denmark, Copenhagen. I had a very bad childhood, very bad. I was beaten, sexually abused, and I just think I learned to be very clever, to move around, you know, and it make you kind of a liar, because you have to lie your way out of stuff, and it also make you senses very alert. You're very alert to your surroundings. So I just went through the first part of my childhood and being young, to just having fun, or not being very nice to men, especially because I was kind of looking good when I was young, and so I had all these interested men, and I was pretty mean to them. So then I found my first husband, and I was very much in love with him. So there was nothing. I mean, I just followed his rules and did whatever he felt like, and it was very hard for me with men, because I didn't know about love. I mean, I thought that it was something dirty, because for me it felt very dirty. It took me a long time to learn that I had to forgive to get on. And when I realized forgiving, it was so easy. So then I started looking around, looking at people, because I was a hairdresser. And I was with a lot of people, and I started listening to people's stories about if they had bad times and how they helped themselves getting better. And so I started listening to some tapes they recommended to me, and reading some books, and you know, and then my kids got older, and I was with my ex-husband. He was a computer, very, very clever with computers, so he was offered a job in San Francisco with a Danish-owned computer company there, and he should be the president and start it from scratch. So we moved there, and it was the first time in my life that I didn't have anything to do. Very strange. Strange feeling. And I started taking care of myself, started going to exercise and yoga, everything. Whatever would make me happy. And of course, being with my kids, bringing them to school, and like any other American housewife. So, and then of course, after a few years, I got a little tired of it. Not tired of it, but I needed some more into my life. And so I started doing some hairdressing and makeup with a girl I met that made clothes, so we would do fashion shows together. And then all the girls I did hair on, they wanted me to be the hairdresser, because I was actually a very good hairdresser. I started going to a bar every evening. They closed at 7, so it was not at night. I went every evening just to have a few drinks, and it escalated. So my daughter had at that time 2 kids, and I have been with her at the births of these 2 children, and she was going to have the 3rd child, and I would always be drunk. I was always drunk. And of course, the later I got, the more drunk I got. So she was laying on my sofa in this place. She was very pregnant, and she said, "Mom, I would so much like you to take care of my kids when I'm going to give birth." And I said, no, I didn't say anything. She said, "But I can't let you, because if I'm going to get birth in the evening, you would be drunk, and I don't dare to have you take care of my children." And I said, "Well, whatever you say when you're drunk, not something nice." I was like, fuck, So they left, and we went to bed, and in the morning, very, very early, I woke up, and it was like I was hit with a hammer. And I said to myself, how can you do this to yourself? How can you do this to your kids? And I was crying, and I called her and I said, "You know what? I start drinking now." So my mom paid for my first thing I went through, and my mom said to me, "If you're going again, I'll pay again." And I called my mom and said, "Would you pay for me again? And I'm so sorry if I can't make it, but I will do everything." And she said, "Of course I will." So I went again, and I went to the birth of my granddaughter. So long.
Oh, that's nice.
So that was beautiful.
Yeah.
After I came out, I said to Eric, I would like to have a mantra too. So we went to a place where we should do some things, look in a light for some time and think of the third eye and whatever we should do. They had 2 different meditations we should do, one morning and one evening. And after, I don't know, 3 months, I was sitting in the bedroom meditating, and suddenly my whole head exploded with light. I was like, and I could see all this coming out of my head, I don't know. I could see it. I could see there were light all over. And I got totally scared, because it was not of this world. And then actually I went to a lady, a psychic lady, because I was a little confused about what is going on here. And she said to me, this was, I think, in October, November or something, and she said, in spring you're going to buy a new salon, and when you get that salon, you're going to meet the man of your life. And you knew him when you were young. You were together with him when you were young. And I thought, I didn't know anyone that I liked, that I remember I liked when I was young. So I thought I wasted 3 hours and all my money on all this, And then, of course, I went to the salon and I wanted to make some changes. I called an old friend of mine, his name is Pierre Bouvet, and I said, I need some good lighting in this salon. It needs some light and nice guy. So, okay, I took a taxi out and he said to me, you remember Eric? Eric from... Yeah, Eric and his wife Daisy, because me and my husband and Eric and his wife were going out together when we were young. We were just going out partying. And I didn't like him. He was so selfish. And he was so good looking. You know, I couldn't stand him actually. Yeah, I mean, we had fun together, but he was really nothing of my taste. So, but I needed this light, so I got Eric's phone number, and the next morning I called Eric and I said, "Oh, hello, it's Lone from YOUandMii." So Eric came down to me the next morning after I had called him, and with his little tool bag in the hand, I was looking at this guy, because last time I saw Eric, he had long dark hair and there was this gray man. And I said, you know, hello. And after, I don't know how long, not that long, he was working with me, and we went out every evening after work. He was doing things. We went out just to have a beer and was sitting speaking. And we had a nice time. And then short after that, I had sex with Eric. And I had totally, I immersed with the whole universe in love. Like, you know, tantra sex, I didn't think about tantra or anything, but I just realized after that's what happened. And in an orgasm, and I said to Eric after, nobody know what love is. No one know what love is. You have never ever tried love if you have not tried this. You were the whole universe. You were everything. It was so beautiful, and I cried. I was so, you know, I think that when you have been broken, like I was broken, but I could always feel love. Even when I was broken, I could always feel love, but I think I mostly got them from animals. So I could always sense the love. So I think that's why I didn't totally break, because a lot of people, they would break and they will be alcoholic and they will never stop drinking or anything. And if you go with your feelings and you listen to yourself, I mean really listen to yourself, then you will be guided constantly. But if you close down, you will not be guided. So I think that the most important thing is, whatever happens in your life, if you just trust your own instincts, they will always save you. From my experience, I can see every time I let go of something, it makes everything easier. I had a very bad experience here when I came back from Denmark. Is it a month ago? I came back from Denmark and Eric was not in the airport picking me up. And I thought maybe something happened and I didn't have a phone because I left it in Denmark, so I couldn't call him. I was waiting, I was out smoking and I was in looking, and then I went all the way to the end to see if he was in the car and if we had misunderstood each other. And then maybe 45 minutes, I saw him, I was outside smoking, I saw him come walking. And I looked at him and he came out and I stared at him and he said, "Are you not going to kiss me?" I said, "No." "No, I'm not." I said, "Where have you been?" "Oh, I've been here waiting for you." I said, "No way. I have been all over looking for you." And I was just angry. I was so pissed, and we went home and I was angry. It was Saturday. The whole Sunday I stayed in bed. I was still pissed and angry, but I didn't make stories. I didn't make any stories. I just felt the anger. I just, I was just living with the pain of having this idiot. And then Monday morning it was released, totally released. And I went up and I kissed him and we didn't talk about it anymore. And that's what I have learned. Whatever happens in your life, don't hide it. Don't do anything, but don't put any more thoughts into it. Let your body release it and it's gone. And that's an advice I give everybody now, because it's the best way to release the pain. Don't feed it and don't press it down. Just let it be.
I've said it many times, I know I would change my ways, I know for sure.
We are all born in love and we are all loved. We are all from the same creation. We are all so bound together, and if we could just release the fear inside us, we would see the love that is all around us from everything. It's kind of glowing. So if just trust that everything is good, and it will be.
As the night starts falling,
We like to kiss.
Yeah, I can see
We
this.
don't need a camera.
Yeah.
Kiss all the
we
time.
got nothing to be scared of. I'd rather be with you than by myself. Now all is in your hands.